Welcome once again. In our previous video, we discussed string and common string methods. In this tutorial, we are going to look at list and list method. As usual, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, click on the subscribe button and also the notification bell. Now to continue with the list data types allow us to hold a collection of data of any type. It could be a list of numbers or strings. Lists are simple to create, and it comes with a wealth of useful methods that we can apply to the list. So now let's create a new scalar file and try to use how we are going to, or see how we are going to implement the list. So in doing so, we need to go to the source folder, right click, go to new, go to scalar class/file. Let's give it a name, list operations. Now let's click on the object and let's have our method list operation. Let's have our main method. Now let's define our variable as a list data type. So say var, we give the variable name x, and the data type is list, which is going to hold integer values. So say list, curly bracket, square bracket, int. Then we need to assign the initial values. So to do that, we bring list again, then into bracket, the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have defined a list that contains a collection of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we can print the content of the list by just saying x. Now when we do that, we are going to see a list of numbers 1, 2, 3, up to 5. Let's wait for it to run. It's taking a bit of time to build because it's the first time we are running it after loading the IDE. Okay, so we have our list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 displayed here. Okay, there are other methods that we can apply to the list. So let's say we want to display the sum of the numbers in the list. You can say x.sum. Now this is supposed to add the values in the list. So to be 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6 plus 4, 10 plus 5, 15. So we are supposed to see 15 here. Let's run it and see. So we have 15. So once we apply the sum method, we have 15. Let's also see a print line. We can find the size of the list. That's the number of items you have stored in the list by using the sum method. Now this, we are supposed to see 5. Let's try it and see. So you have 5. We can try to identify or print the head of the list, the item at the beginning of the list. You can say x.head. Now when you run it, we are supposed to see 1. We can also print out and see the tail of the list. The tail are all the items apart from the head. So when we run it, we have 2, 3, 4, 5. You okay? So let's assume we can also say tail dot tail, so we can chain multiple methods. So tail dot tail will give us 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay. We can also use the cons operator to prepend an element to the front of a list. So we can have x equals to 0. Then we use the cons operator, then say x. So here what we are doing is that we are prepending, or we are inserting 0 in front of the list. So it means we are creating a new list that will load the old list and insert 0 at the front of the list. Oh yeah, okay. So now if we print line X, we now see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the new value. Okay. We can also loop through the list and display the items in a proper way by using the for each. Later we'll talk about those things. So we can say x.for each, x.for each element print. Let's print it on the same line underscore, which means we don't care about the variables. We are just printing it out. So now when we run it, you see 0, 1, 2, 3. Later on, we look more into this iteration for each and stuff. Okay, now let's see how we can create lists and also generate lists using different methods. Now, I want to create a new file again to continue with that exercise. So I'll just go to new, scalar, file, object. I will give this name creating list. I'll have my main method. Now let's generate the list again, or define a variable var s, the normal procedure that we have already used, and equal to the list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can also generate the list using other method. Okay, let me use the reply to explain that. So let me go to tools, reply. So now so far, we have used list into bracket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that one will give us a list of integers like we did now. So for example, if you want to generate a list of strings, also to bracket, maybe US, comma, UK, then enter. So this is a list of strings. We can also have a list of characters A, B. Then have a list of characters. We can also generate a list using different functions. So for example, I can say list, I can say a range from 1, 11. Here it means the list should be a list that contains 1 to 10. The ending index is -1. So here we are going to have a list of 1, 2, 3 up to 10. We can also use the fill method. So you say fill the list 3 items with this data 5, which means the list will contain 5 3 times. We can also say fill the list 3 times with the word FOO. So which means we are going to have the list of FOFOFO. So these are some of the functions that we can use to populate or generate the list. Now let's come back to the code. Let's continue. So you have our var x list of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are various methods that comes with the list that we can use to manipulate the data in the list. So for example, we can say that, let's say print, then I will say the list, then I'll say tick. When I say tick and I give it a number 2, it means tick 2 elements from the start of the list. So now, when we run this, we are now left with 1 and 2. So it takes only the first 2 elements in the list from the start of the list. If you make it take 3, then it takes the first 3 elements in the list. We can also say print line x.tick right. Now here to tick element from the tail of the list. So when you say tick 3, it means tick the last 3 elements at the tail of the list. So let's see. So now we have 3, 4, 5. So 3, 4, 5. We can also have s.drop, which means drop the number of element from the start of the list. So let's say drop 1, which means drop the first element of the start from the start of the list. So now we have 2, so 1 is gone. Say drop 2, it means it will remove 2 elements from the beginning of the list. We can also use drop right, and as usual, you need to understand drop right, it means we are dropping the last 2 elements of the list. So we are dropping from the tail. So when we run this, we are having 1, 2, 3. So 4 and 5 is gone. Okay. Now we can also combine operations by chaining the method. So we can have this code. can say s.tail. Now, normal, let me comment this so that we don't see a lot of codes on the screen or result. When you say s.tail, it's just supposed to give us the list without a head. We can say .tail again, which means it will remove the 2 also to have 3, 4, 5. So here we have combined 2 operations by chaining 2 methods, tail. We can also say tail dot reverse, which means after it removed the first 2, it will reverse the results. So this one will give us 5, 4, 3. Oh yeah, okay. So now let's try another one. We can say print line s.tick right 4. So it means take the last 4 elements. Then when you are done, tick 3. So which means takes the last 4 at the tail end, then tick the beginning 3. Then I want you to print the head. So this one's supposed to give us 2. So this is the way you can chain method. That's you combine operations by chaining the method. So these are a few examples of how to use list and how to use the method that comes with list to manipulate or to process the data in the list. So in summary, we have looked at strings and list, and we have seen how or the various methods that it comes with it. And we have seen the different ways of generating data using different functions when we come to list. So we end this video. As usual, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, click on the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that I can create more good content for you. Take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.